When Jim Jones, the king of keeping it real, finds out, what will happen? Is this the end of the queue for Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin? What were they hiding that might ruin all we think we know about them? Doubt what actually happened on their covert night out, but trust me, the truth is much more interesting than any of us could have ever guessed. Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin were on a covered retreat together when Jim Jones didn't understand that it was an expose rather than just a night out. The scandal was so serious that not even the paparazzi could obtain a decent enough shot. The individual who alerted the public about it was so near to the event that the only thing as we go into the fallout, which is hotter than their secrets, don't go anywhere. This isn't just a date night, this is the secret that will blow up. Get ready because things are going to get pretty dirty. The issue that no one anticipated, the disclosure of Cam'ron and Chrissy Lewin's covert night out, is just getting started, but it has been simmering for some time. Jim Jones is enraged. Two people who regularly attract attention in the hip-hop world, Chrissy Lewin and others, have managed to keep something important hidden. However, secrets eventually come to light, and when they do, they usually cause a stir. And guess what? The Cam'ron, the Harlem rapper who has been making waves in the industry, is well known for his unique cam persona and his funny, confrontational demeanor. He isn't scared to get involved in a controversy, and if anyone can stay ahead of the drama, it's him, but this time he wasn't ready. You would think that following all of her public turmoil with Jim Jones, Chrissy Lampkin, the irate and unrepentant reality TV personality, would be the most known for being on Love and Hip Hop. She would have learned a few things about staying out of the spotlight, but here we are, spending a night all by ourselves, completely out of the spotlight. It was an unexpected night that would come back to haunt them both. How did the rumors start? Others who know Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin have been speculating in the background of the hip-hop community for weeks that something was missed. They've been spending more time together and not in the friendly way that they used to, and they're acting suspiciously. This was also discussed when two well-known celebrities, Cam'ron and if we look at it from a distance, Jim Jones' reaction when he found out that Cam'ron and Chrissy were spending time together without him was totally predictable. Chrissy Lampkin is starting to fade into the background. Jim has always been quite protective of his people, so if you don't think he's been closely monitoring Chrissy and Cam'ron's movements, you've been living under it from the start. You could almost hear the fire in his voice. The relationship between Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin has been difficult. They have both gone through the highs and lows of Jim Jones's Love hip-hop fame and the never-ending media circus, but their current engagement in what could be doing in private that they were unable to disclose to the public, and more importantly, why Jim was the last to find out about it. This is where things start to get really interesting. In order to understand how serious this problem is, previously, Cam'ron and Jim Jones were closest friends, business partners, and co-founders of the well-known Dipset team. Together, they dominated the hip-hop industry like a well-oiled machine, but as time went on, the cracks started appearing in Sinoa. It seems that long-standing connections became strained and allegiance was questioned. The harem connection has always been close-knit, even familial, but when you include Chrissy Lampkin, the situation becomes murky when someone betrays themselves, but don't just take our word for it. Sources close to the situation have already started to leak that this complicated past with Jim Jones is a recipe for catastrophe, and let's just say that Jim won't be pleased with the exclusive revelation. According to many sources, Chrissy and Cam'ron had been dating for weeks, and Jim always thought she was. The fact that she was leading a different life with him and that they weren't just going out to eat suggests that Cam'ron and Chrissy were seen slinking into hidden entrances at some of the city's most affluent locations. Using back exits to avoid being seen by cameras seems suspect, doesn't it? Rumor has it that things got hot and heavy on one of those covered evenings out, so of course Cam'ron and Chrissy weren't simply hanging about. One person claimed that Chrissy got very at ease with Cam'ron when she thought no one was looking. But in reality, they were living like two single people who were completely unaccountable to Jim. Simply recalling the past, but it was about something more. At first, Jim Jones was in denial and didn't believe Chrissy would betray him in this way, especially with Cam'ron, but as the evidence grew, it became more tough to ignore, and Jim would eventually hear the stories, but Jim had no idea how far things had come. As we dig deeper into this complicated issue, it's regrettably clear that much the picture being shown isn't just a potential meeting between Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin. Oh no. It's much more complicated, but if we look more closely, we find That there is more going on behind the scenes than anyone had thought, something far worse. The reality seems to be about more than a night out under the stars. It's about lying, treachery, and a failing relationship. It's no secret that Jim Jones and Cam'ron Chrissy had a challenging relationship for years. Despite their differences, Jim and Cam'ron have always had a strange connection and a past that neither of them can fully forget. They went from being closest friends, partners in crime, and collaborators to being bizarre. Since Chrissy is involved, things have gotten more complicated and are only going to get worse. According to multiple sources, what happened between Chrissy and Cam'ron that led to these secret encounters wasn't just a lighthearted catch-up or instead than just reminiscing about the good old days of the Dipset era. These were intentional, covert meetings that took place in some of the most prominent places in the city where no one would look. According to insiders, Chrissy and Cam'ron's connections were far more personal than anybody could have imagined. Despite their seeming innocuous conversations, there is a tale that at least one of these encounters involved Cam'ron and Chrissy were allegedly seen having a bit too much fun together at a private residence in Hampton. The rumors are getting louder, and the details are getting more explicit about what's really going on between. According to some sources, Chrissy was observed being distant, laughing, joking, and holding hands with Cam'ron. Are they rekindling their previous romance, or is this all just a simple misunderstanding? Don't get me wrong, Chrissy isn't at all comfortable with Cam'ron, even though they are lovers at times. This kind of public turmoil is new to her, since she has a history of expressing her feelings Cam'ron in ways that were far more than just nice. If what is being claimed is true, Chrissy and Cam'ron might be going too far. She is the same woman who memorably punched out Camilla on Love and Hip Hop after years of pent-up wrath is something quite different, and let's not forget about the major problem, Jim Jones. How did he react when he found out that, according to our inside sources, he wasn't as innocent as he seemed? Some people say he had a suspicion something wasn't right all along. Or was he as caught off guard as everyone is making it seem? Chrissy and Cam'ron's tension had been apparent for months prior to the covered night out. The problem was that he never expected it to go to that point. Jim may have disregarded the issue at this point, but when he found out, it slammed him like a ton of bricks. Some even theorize that Jim was aware of Chrissy and Cam'ron's developing intimacy months before he discovered the truth. It has been claimed that someone in the Dipset group may have given Jim an anonymous tip indicating that Cam'ron and Chrissy were becoming too close for comfort and weren't just hanging out. Insiders close to Jim and Chrissy stated that Jim confronted her immediately after the truth was discovered, and the altercation was violent to say the least. Jim reportedly told Chrissy everything he told him about the secret meetings, and then the yelling and fight broke out. Jim became furious, and Chrissy seemed to lose her temper for the first time in their long association. She was taken by surprise. And Chrissy denied having a romantic relationship. Friendship with Cam'ron, claiming it was just a harmless catch-up, but this is where things become really shady. She was defensive and made an effort to downplay all that had occurred because Chrissy had been hiding and skulking at meetings for a long time, and Jim and everyone else around her weren't buying it. Jim was left questioning everything he thought he knew about the woman he's been seeing for years, and the harm is just getting started. There are rumors that Jim, and even though there haven't been any official statements yet, it is evident that Chrissy and Jim are at odds, and it won't be long until the public finds out the truth about what is actually going on. Cam'ron was close to Jim and has previously protected him, but the story doesn't end there. This is true of any incident involving Dipset that is currently in the spotlight, and individuals are unsure of his next move, considering that he has a history of feuds with other musicians and is therefore accustomed to controversy. Cam'ron says he is initially unfazed by the commotion, but with it's a totally new level of betrayal when your best friend's partner gets involved. He will undoubtedly react by beating up with another rapper as a result of the growing public outcry and followers criticizing his actions. The question is whether he will confess and admit anything more than his innocent interactions with Chrissy, or if he will continue to deny any wrongdoing, and whether he will ever apologize to Jim, since the Dipset brand is built on loyalty, which is currently a significant question mark as more and more information becomes available. One thing is for sure, this scandal is far from over. We'll look at the consequences, the public's reaction to this startling revelation, any potential legal ramifications, and what this would imply for Jim and Cam'ron Chrissy Jones's next actions as the storm continues after the horrifying revelations. About Jim Jones and Cam'ron Chrissy Layman, stay tuned because this story is only beginning and will unfold in surprising ways. The fallout from this incident will have a big influence on society as a whole. It's like witnessing a slow-motion train wreck, with the locomotive not even reaching its destination yet. When you look at the dip game, the love and hip-hop, the people involved, Rand, and the music industry as a whole. Let's begin by talking about Jim Jones, who has been caught in a maelstrom of a situation where, according to some close to him, the public's reaction to the Chrissy and Cam'ron discovery has been intense. With fans, many people are now asking how Jim could have been so clueless of Chrissy and Cam'ron's bond growing, with the media and even his own staff questioning what went wrong and why he didn't see sooner. Engrossed with his own career, or did he simply choose to disregard the signs in order to maintain harmony with his long-term partner? The truth is, Jim has been mostly silent during the chaos surrounding has sparked even more conspiracy theories. Some say he's handling it in the worst possible way by staying silent, while others believe he's keeping his cards close to the vest, in anticipation of the perfect chance to strike back. In any event, when there's no doubt that Jim's reputation is at stake, this is a significant matter that might affect Jim's job and personal life for a long time. It's not just a little celebrity dispute. Will the scandal serve as the impetus for Jim to eventually come out clean and confront the situation, or will he continue to live under the shadow of this betrayal? Meanwhile, Chrissy Lucan is managing the situation in her own manner. She is known for having a fiery temper, especially when it comes to defending her relationship with Jim and how she is handling this issue, according to those close to her. She is also grieving over the public outcry that her meetings with Cam'ron were apparently the subject of little more than a reunion of old friends, but it doesn't seem to be popular with the public. Many are curious about how far the reunion went and whether Chrissy and Cam'ron's connection was truly innocent. Others in their social circle have said that Chrissy and Cam'ron's relationship was undeniable. Some even go so far as to say that it went beyond the wholesome catch-up narrative she has been pushing. Could things get? Cam'ron has always been presented as a smooth operator, so it's fascinating now that the truth is out because Chrissy was pulled to him in a manner she never could have imagined, leaving her split between two worlds. Enjoys drama and doesn't back down from controversy. Despite the fact that his battle with Jim has been going on for years, this issue takes things to a new level, and the public's perception of Cam'ron is extremely challenging. Views on Cam'ron are currently divided. On the one side, he is the charming, charismatic rapper who has been putting out songs for years, but he is also credited for helping to bring down one of hip-hop's greatest renowned friendships and perhaps a romance that many people think is strong. The next question is whether Cam'ron will keep his composure and deny any wrongdoing, or if he will come clean about his relationship. With some sources claim that Cam'ron doesn't feel the need to apologize because he is the one who doesn't have to answer to anyone and has followers, so he shouldn't give a damn about what the public thinks. There are always costs associated with becoming involved in a matter. Although this huge Cam'ron may be able to disregard the public uproar for the time being, it remains to be seen how his supporters and his former. It is clear from piecing together the details of this developing story that Chrissy Cam'ron and Jim Jones are at the center of a storm that doesn't appear to be going away. But the question of how friends will react over time still lingers. With more questions than answers, but there is no doubt that this incident has the potential to either permanently damage their relationships and careers in the long term or allow them to move on. Will drastically change the dynamics of the Dipset legacy and perhaps even the hip-hop and love brand itself. Will Jim make it through this, or will these fall victim to the rumors that are currently swirling around? However, as you can see from the Cam'ron and Chrissy controversy, we do know that there is no going back in time because the lies and secrets have been revealed and the truth is now accessible to all after seeing the disturbing reality of a single night. It's about more than simply a covered night out. It's about mutual treachery, a relationship breakdown, the end of an era, broken hearts, shattered loyalties, and the inevitable something will change everything, leaving us wondering how it will all turn out. Will Chrissy and Jim be able to repair their shattered relationship, or will they wind up splitting up forever? Will Cam'ron and Jim ever get back together? We'll all be closely watching this drama as the pieces come together, and we'd like to know what you think about the whole Cam'ron and Chrissy Lampkin situation. Jim, are they back together, or has their friendship reached a breaking point? You have it all, people. Tell us in the comments below if Jones was completely taken by surprise, or if he decided to deal with the shocking betrayals, explosive secrets, and heart-stopping drama that no one saw coming. We're interested in hearing your thoughts and we'll read them all. Ignore the warning signs, but more importantly, what will happen next? Is there a hope that these relationships will survive, or has everything been wrecked beyond repair? Think Cam'ron will be held responsible for this incident, or will he come forward? Will Jim remain silent forever? Let's talk about it. If you want to learn about all the juicy details there's a ton of amazing celebrity drama out there, so don't hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have more, and you'll get shocking stories. Don't forget to hit the bell symbol to be the first to know when the future videos will be released soon. Stay tuned for more incredible exposes, because the truth is out there and we're prepared to present it to you. No matter how crazy things get, obtain a comment subscription.